How to become a successful trader. Welcome to another video. My name is Kügi, and as always, I try to provide you with insights so that you can make smart decisions for yourself. I think today's topic will become really interesting in the upcoming hype cycle again, because in every hype cycle, everyone suddenly wants to get rich quick, and everyone thinks trading is the easiest thing in the world. And there will be a lot of videos on how to get rich quick, how to learn trading within 15 minutes, follow this system for easy access and easy gains and all that bullshit. And I think I thought I'd just make a video myself about my experience or my learnings from the past 5 years or more, what I learned from trying to become a successful trader. I will do a separate video about my journey, so my personal journey, what I learned, how I learned it and everything. But in this video, I want to just dive a bit or give an overview over, in my opinion, the 5 most important things that are relevant for you if you want to become a successful trader. And a bit of a heads up, a bit of a spoiler alert, this is not a get rich quick video, of course. This is also know how to become a trader within a week or anything. And I also don't want to talk anything about any strategies, trading systems, or whatever. For me, the most important things when it comes to becoming a trader, having this journey of learning how to trade and everything, the most important things are not the stuff that people tell you in YouTube videos about trading systems, technical analysis, or whatever. The most important things are other things that are usually not spoken about, because I think it's just the hard truth that new traders don't want to hear. But yeah, I don't care, so I just go with it. Also, maybe a bit of a context or disclaimer. If you expect this to be uplifting, maybe you will more likely think the trading is not for you after this video. And I think that's just fair, because statistics shows that more than 90% of every newcomer or all people who try to be a trader just burn their money and quit. So if you think you can become a successful trader, be aware it's very competitive and you will likely lose. Just have that up front. And with that uplifting start into the video, how to become a successful trader. First thing, in my opinion, that's really important in this whole journey is your mindset. Trading is a profession and you have to handle it professionally. You have to view it as a profession, as a serious business. I mean, if you are a successful trader, if you manage to become a successful trader, you earn serious money. In any profession, any job, anything where you earn such amounts of money, you expect to need education. You expect to need training phases and everything. And no one expects a carpenter, a surgeon, a lawyer to just watch a few YouTube videos, read 2 books, and then suddenly be a professional in that field and make good money. You don't expect to read 2 books about heart surgery and then do a heart surgery, right? No one would ever think about that. But in trading, people have the weird impression that you just read 2 books, watch a few YouTube videos, and suddenly you are a professional trader and make millions. So let me tell you this, it's not working that way. Anyone who tells you that it's easy or that it's working that way is a scammer or just wants your money. So think about it as a profession, think about it as a serious business, and expect a learning phase. You don't need to go to university. You don't need any training courses or anything. You don't need a degree or anything. That's the good thing about trading, that most of the things that you need to learn, or nearly all of the things, depending on how motivated you are are nearly free, available free. There are trading courses that really make sense. There are courses about technical analysis, about volume trading, about the fundamentals and everything that cost money, but are sometimes worth the money. I don't recommend any of them because I don't know any of them in detail. I nearly learned all the things I learned myself by just experience, and I think that's the best way to learn. But it can make sense to do those courses, but you don't have to. You can learn nearly everything on your own. But you need to be aware that you have to put in the time and the money. And there's the thing, yes, all the things or nearly all of the things are available for free. But in my opinion, the most expensive thing in your education to be a trader is the money you burn learning to trade. Because you need to prepare that you will burn money. I know no professional trader who never burned an account during the first years. Because that's how you learn. You learn by mistakes. And there's this saying that learning from your mistakes is dumb, because you can learn from other people's mistakes, and it's far smarter to learn from other people's mistakes. So that's why I'm trying to tell you that. But in the end, you have to learn from mistakes, and you have to do the mistakes to know what you're doing there. So keep that in mind. Also, maybe to set the expectations straight. Don't expect to learn trading within a week or a month. I would honestly not expect to become a professional, profitable trader within the first year. There are people who manage it. You can do it. No question about that. But if you expect that, you will likely get disappointed, burn all your money, try to get rich quick, try shortcuts, and you lose. Don't try shortcuts. You have to put in the effort, the work to do that. You have to have the mindset of, this is a business, this is a profession. Get yourself educated. Educate yourself, put in the training time, prepare to pay money for this training. But we will come to that in a minute in other topics. But prepare for that. Have that in mind and really treat it as an education phase and a learning phase, not as a I get rich quick, because you will just burn your money. Next thing, money management. The goal is to survive, and that's a bit already overlapping with the you have to pay the money for the education. It's both relevant and true for an already professional trader and for the trainee. If you learn to trade, it's even more important. But even as a trader never goes on one trade. It's never important what one trade does. For a trader, it's always important what the next 100, the next 1,000 trades do. And if you want to have a successful 1,000 trades, you need to be able to do 1,000 trades. So you need to have your funds, enough funds that you survive the next 100, the next 1,000 trades, and not burn your account on one single trade. Risking too much on one single trade is gambling. You don't want gambling, you want to be a successful professional trader. So don't gamble. There is the rule of thumb, and I would recommend that to anyone starting fresh until you know what you're doing. Then you can deviate from that. But the rule of thumb is never risk more than 1% of your trading portfolio in one trade. Yes, I know for everyone who is like, oh, trading and I get rich and a high risk, high reward and whatever. No. If you do that, you are gambling. If you want to do it professionally, never risk more than 1%. For all the professional traders out there, I know it's different when you know what you're doing, but for everyone learning what you are doing, stick to 1% of your portfolio, your trading account. And make sure that you survive the training phase and then be sustainable on the long run. Also, the thing, prepare that you lose the first few accounts. You put money on the account, you start trading, you lose, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from your losing trades, you burn the full account, you start again. Prepare for that and manage or prepare your funds and your long-term vision to survive. Think about it in a way that you say you have enough funds to fund your trading accounts so that you survive 1 or 2 years. You don't want to need money in 1 year from the trading if you don't even know how to trade yet. So money management, cover everything and make sure you survive. Because otherwise you might be on the right track, but your funds run out and you can't continue your education. So prepare there and learn from it. And with that is one of the, in my opinion, most important things. I call it emotion management, but I think it's far more than that. The thinking in R. And if you are new to trading and the whole thing, you likely have no idea what I'm talking about. First, emotion management, it's one of the most underestimated things by newcomers, in my opinion, because you can have the best system in the world, the best trading system, and you still mess it up because of your emotions. Because you get greedy, because you get fearful, because you don't execute the system, you think you're smarter than the system. And yes, everybody says, I won't do that, I'm super rational, but trust me, most likely you will do it unless you are prepared for it. So get your emotions in check, get your emotions managed, and one way to do that is thinking in R. What I mean by that is, as I said, I would recommend risking 1% per trade, 1% of your trading account, not your net worth, not the whole money you have, 1% of your trading account, where you are fine with burning it all. So this 1% is your 1R. So it's a risk reference, it's a big R. So if you lose one trade, it's 1R down. You lost 1R. If you manage to make double the amount that you risked, you are up 2Rs. So make this as your reference. And why is that important? Let's assume that you will become professional and you will become a successful trader. Let's say you need $5,000 a month out of that to live, to make a living. It's already a lot of money for some people, but just as a reference, right? And let's assume you manage to make 5% profit per month on your trading account. If $5,000 is the amount you need, 5% means you need a trading account of $100,000. It's on the one hand already a bit of a disclaimer or downer for some people likely, because if you want to make a living from it, you need a big account. You can't make a living from trading $10,000 portfolio. It just can't. Even 5%. I know for crypto people, it sounds like 5% a month. That's nothing. I make that in a day. But the thing is, you need to make it consistently, day after day, month after month. If you make 5% consistently per month, means you make 60% a year, and it's not even compounding. 60% a year puts you at the top list of world traders. So you likely won't make that. You can call yourself lucky if you make 1%. But even with the 5%, even if you make 5% on a $100,000 account, and make that all work, you need to risk, if you risk 1% per trade, you risk $1,000 per trade. Now, if you think $1,000 is not much and you don't care if you lose $1,000, then you likely need more than $5,000 a month to live, right? Because otherwise 1,000 wouldn't be a lot for you, or would be a lot for you. Now, if you think now trading and open a trade and knowing if that trade is a loser, you lost $1,000. Most people are likely going crazy over that, because you need to be really sure that this is a winner, or really don't care unless you will question yourself, you question your system and everything. So your emotions coming with a position size like that. On the other hand, the problem is while you are training, because while you're training, you don't want trade a position, a trading account of $100,000, right? Because you don't want to burn $100,000 in your first month. So you start with a trading account that's far smaller, maybe $100. With $100, you risk $1 per trade. That's something you should be able to afford, that you say, okay, I invest on the first account of $100 just to trade, just to get some experience, right? To risk that, and it's fine if it's gone. Because if you're not fine with losing $100 for the first month, then you shouldn't. You should first get your funds up before you think about trading, honestly. But $1 is likely not much for you. It's less than a cup of coffee, right? So there you have the risk of not caring enough. On a $1,000 trade, you care too much. On a $1 trade, you likely not care enough, because you're like, yeah, whatever, just risk it. So looks good, I will risk the trade, because if it loses, it's just $1. Who cares? I put another dollar into the account. And so you don't take it seriously. You don't care for the outcome. You just risk random numbers, basically. And if you then win and increase the size, you suddenly care and everything goes to shit. But most likely you're just gambling and don't manage to get a system or anything out of it. So you need to find a way of caring enough on the small accounts or small numbers and not caring too much on the big numbers. And for me, thinking in R is the most effective way to do that. And what I mean is, you once define your R, and this is your scaling factor for your trading position, for your whole system. Because in the end, the market, if you trade any reasonable market, it doesn't matter for the market if you have a position size of $1 or a position size of $100,000. You need a market with enough liquidity, but most of the markets you don't have a real slippage if you go to that size. If you go bigger, yes, but until that size, the big markets don't care. So it doesn't matter what size you go. It's just matters for you. And go in, make this 1R somewhere a number, and from then on, everything you think about is in your risk reference. So if you open a trade, you risk 1R. If the trade is a full loser, directly into the stop loss, you lost 1R. You don't think you lost $1, you lost 1R. If it goes up and you make twice what you risk, you win 2Rs. If you sum up your trades after a week or after a month and see where you are, don't think in dollars, think in Rs. Think in, I'm up 3Rs, I'm up 2Rs, I'm down half an R now, something like that. So you have everything you do is in R. And now, in your mind, you can say, okay, if I become successful, I will have, I manage, because I have the funds, or I will raise the funds or whatever, I will do a $100,000 portfolio or a $10,000 portfolio, whatever. 1% of that, $1,000. So in your mind, you can say, okay, 1R is in my mind $1,000. Now, if you trade, you know, or in your mind, you say like, if I manage now to make 2Rs this month, it would be like if I made $2,000 in my career, which makes you care about it, because you get realistic expectations on the should I care about it or not. Generally, you don't care, not enough, say it this way. It's not a whatever, but you know, if I manage to make that amount of R in that month, it would be in my future career $5,000, for example, because $1,000 per hour. But on the other hand, your brain knows that it's not that bad, because actually right now it's a small account. So you don't get crazy and emotional and like, oh, I can't risk one R because it's $1,000. So you manage, if you really get good at that and train yourself to do that, you manage, or you have a high chance, say it this way, you have a high chance to manage this balance between caring enough, because you can think about that, this would make me so much if I continue this consistently, that's the funds I have and that's the outcome I have. But in reality, you only risk $1 per trade, you only risk a $100 portfolio, and you can burn that and it doesn't matter that much. So you already train yourself. And if you get good at that and only think in Rs, it doesn't matter if after 1 or 2 months of successful trading, once you manage to have your strategy, then you just double your risk ratio or your risk reference. You double your R. You 10x your R because you say, I'm confident now that it works. I 10x that. All your calculations, all your things, all your sheets and where do I get in and everything doesn't matter, doesn't change. You still evaluate in R's. You still have your balance sheets and everything in R's and your trading performance. So there is no difference for you. It's just that the numbers, the actual dollars in your account change. And therefore your emotions already prepare for the big amounts, and you can train yourself to that. So you get your emotions in check now and for the future when you become successful. So that's why I think emotion management, most important thing there, and yeah, most effective thing that I learned is this thinking in this risk reference. And with this and with this whole analyzing and stuff comes the next really important topic. And this is also again overlapping with the mindset, with the take it professionally, have a trading journal and reflect. You don't become a successful trader by trading on the phone, on a gut feeling or anything. Whatever you do, any trade you do, document it, document why you took the trade, what's the signal you reacted to, where's the entry, where's the initial stop loss. Always have initial stop loss. Only get rid of an initial stop loss if you really know what you're doing. In the beginning, first year, don't ever get rid of an initial stop loss. Have that in a sheet. Make a sheet. It can be super simple. You don't need some fancy trading journal app. Make a Google sheet. First column date, second column the signal I reacted to. Put in whatever you react to. It really depends completely on you and your style. You might react to technical analysis, chart patterns. You might react to volume patterns, volume trading, whatever. You might react to social media sentiment. No one else cares about than you, because that's the important thing and the beauty of trading. You don't have to explain your system to anyone. You don't have to evaluate your system against anyone. No one needs to understand or believe what you're doing. If you make the money with trading, you make the money with trading. No one else doesn't. No one needs to know. No one needs to care. But it needs to work for you. So don't let anyone fool you into it worked for them, so it works for you. It needs to work for you, and you need to learn what works for you. And you learn that by having a journal. Put in signal second column, or the third column after your signal, what you reacted to, is a reflection, stays empty while the trade is open. Then your entry price, your initial stop loss, and based on that, this sheet should automatically calculate your position size. And that will be calculated based on the R definition. And this R definition should be somewhere in the top left, small field, where you put in that number and then not look at it anymore. Because this calculation in there tells you, okay, based on that entry point, exit, entry point and stop loss, this is your position size. And you take this position size, you don't think about that position size, you take it, put it into the trading mask, and that's it. Execute the trade. Because then you can think in R's and always just analyze it. If you don't feel comfortable doing such a calculation in your trading journal, don't become a trader. You need a lot of calculations here, a lot of math on trading. But it's really simple, so don't worry about it. And then you have your, where did you exit the trade? Maybe you have a target that you put in and everything. Put that also in and have a result again in R, so you can calculate that and automatically not show the dollars or anything, just show in the journal, see this trade made me -1 R, plus 0.5 R, whatever, all in R, and then sum it up and so on. And then, so have that, do that for every trade, watch the charts, watch whatever signal you have, whatever data you analyze, whatever you think comfortable with. Analyze that, put in the explanation why you do the trade, execute the trade, finish the trade, close it, whenever, and then after some time, reflect on the trade. If your trade usually lasts a few minutes, reflect after a few hours. If it takes a few hours for the trade, reflect after a few days. Don't reflect right on the close, because there you don't know if the trade was good or not. Because even if you made 10 profit on a trade and you closed it in that profit, it could be that the market moves on and you could maybe have 100 R. So maybe it was too early to close it. On the downside, the same thing. If the trade directly goes into the stop loss, it could be that the stop loss was too close and it turned around and made a profit. Or it could be that over the next day, or whatever time you usually have the trade open, it goes down, 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 down. It was good to have the stop loss there. Maybe you should have the stop loss even earlier. Because it was anyway a loser, so you could have the stop loss earlier because it didn't matter. So always give yourself and the market time to show you if this was a good decision to do it, and each decision in the trade was a good decision. Open the trade, close the trade, it's all decisions that you need to reflect and evaluate if it was good or bad. Always do that, always be really harsh on yourself, because on the one hand, as I said, no one else can judge your trading. Only the profits judge your trading, but this means you have to judge your trading, and you have to really be a harsh mentor and a harsh judge that really says, was this good or not? Don't sugarcoat anything. If it was a shit idea to open the trade, write it down, mark it as a shit idea, and learn from it. Learn from every trade that you do, because then it makes sense to spend this money on education in terms of losing the money. Because also mindset thing, every trade you lose during your learning phase is a learning experience. You pay the market for teaching you how to trade, how to become successful. And you have to give the market a chance. You have to give yourself the chance to survive long enough and to prepare for doing it. The last thing, and that's basically what I already said, put in the time. Practice makes perfect. You have to sit there and watch whatever data you watch. Because it could be, as I said, it could be that you watch charts, it could be that you watch just order flow, social media, news, fundamental data, whatever works for you, but you need to put in the time to see what works for you. And that's the screen time. You can't just watch a YouTube video, look at a strategy, understand the strategy, and then say, yes, that's my strategy, I'm successful with that. Because you don't know if you can execute that strategy day in, day out, for the rest of your career. Any system that you develop or use as a trader, you need to be able to execute it flawlessly, day in, day out, for the rest of your career. Because otherwise, it's not working for you. You won't be able to do that. And therefore, you have to practice that. You have to see if this is a good system, adapt it or whatever. And yes, over time, if you find your system, you might not need to sit there all day. You might trade on a daily and just watch quickly at the charts 10 minutes a day, do your trading positions, and that's it. But you need to find that data that you look for. It's basically searching for a needle in the haystack. And once you found the needle, you don't have to search through the whole haystack again. You know where the needle is, you just dig it, and every time you come back, it's still there. But until you find it, you have to spend a lot of time sifting through that haystack. And that's what you need to do. Put in the screen time, put in the time, practice makes perfect. And that's it, basically. That's my most important things that you need to consider or need to be aware of if you want to become a successful trader. Maybe one last disclaimer or one last thing. I trade on Bybit. I think for 5 years now. I like it. I don't know if you like it there or not. If you want to give something back to me and you got value out of it, feel free to use the ref link. It's in the description, because then I get something out of that, just so you know about that. If not, if you now think, trading sounds too dangerous or too much effort, perfectly fine. I understand that perfectly. Better you realize it now then you realize it after a few burned accounts. So if I prevent anyone from burning too many accounts, I'm happy. And maybe this helps some people to get successful traders. And with that, I hope it helped. If there are any questions, if there's anything where you say you want more details on that, leave a comment, tell me about it. I try to make more videos about that or answer the questions. And as I said, in the next video, I will give a recap of my learning experience and my journey as a trader. What worked, what didn't work, and if I managed to become a successful trader or not. So stay tuned for the next video. And with that, happy trading.